Well, yesterday I went on a hunt to the junk store to try and find boxes, wooden boxes. I can't find Spanish cedar. I can probably get some Spanish cedar that I've got and slice it into strips and line the inside of this box because I need to use something as a humidor. And at the moment, something is better than nothing. So what I've done is I've stripped this wood all the way back to wood. And then I have got the top and I've stained it with walnut stain that's mixed with MEK thinners so that it absorbs very, very quickly. And then I'm going to put some mahogany on top of this, and then I'm probably going to do a Danish oil or something like that and let it set, because all of the smell has to disappear before you even put cigars anywhere near this box. So inside, I paid $5 for this. I haven't worked out what kind of wood it is yet. There's a breed or species of cedar in New Zealand called Lawsoniana, and it's very, very close to Spanish cedar. So inside this box for $5, and I was really only interested in the box, is a test tube, which I could probably fill with glycol and water, and then use this cork on the top as a sort of like a slow release humectant. But with it came a microscope, and it's quite heavy, cast metal, good quality, and also some cedar wood. Isn't that interesting? Everything I was looking for accidentally turned up for $5. So now I can identify mold, I can look for mold if something's not right, I can do all sorts of things, and all I was looking for was a humidor. Well, this is the result so far. I can tell you what, this wax does not dry very quick, that's for sure. And according to the recipe, there's not a whole lot of, solvent in it either. So I hope this dries, because if it stays greasy, I'll be a little bit annoyed. But hopefully it dries hard. Well, here's the humidor. The wax did not dry and it does not set, which makes me annoyed because I wanted to get a good coat of wax on this and the wax just will not set. It's basically like sticking baby oil on it. So I got it as shiny as I could, just buffing it with the French polish on it. Stuck all the things back together. Now what I'm going to do, in the bottom and in the top, I'm going to put cedar so that the smell comes through, and also because cedar is good at hydrating and keeping cigars nice. So all I need is an electronic, hygrometer now, which probably cost me $10. Well, I'm slowly making this humidor. I stripped it back yesterday with sandpaper till it was white, so it was this color inside, and I have put walnut stain on it and a good coat of mahogany as well to bring out the red. I'm probably going to do some more mahogany tomorrow once it dries, because it's stopped absorbing the stain at the moment. So I'm just going to wait till it dries and then give it another go. So basically this is what it looks like. And tomorrow I'm probably going to French polish it, or something like that. French polish or oil, tongue oil, something like that. Something that's going to dry hard and shiny. Well, so far I've got this plain white box and I've sanded the varnish off it, and I've given it a coat of mahogany stain, walnut stain, and then I have given it 2 coats of Danish oil, and the first coat this morning, second coat this morning is hardening up for the rest of the day in the sun. So that was the colour originally, and this is what it looks like now. And that will become a humidor for cigars. Well, the time has come for me to finally polish this humidor that I'm making. We couldn't work out what kind of wood this was, so it doesn't really matter anyway, because I'm going to line it with cedar, freshly cut Spanish cedar. So it was originally this colour here, and then I stained it, and I've still got to put soft seals around the edges of this box here so that when I close it, it's airtight. I've done 1 layer of walnut stain, and then I have done another layer of mahogany. I've two layers of mahogany just to bring the red out, and then I've done 2 layers of Danish oil. And Danish oil, you've got to be real quick when you put it on too, because it almost dries as fast as you stick it on. So it's been 2 days since that was done, so there's no smell, there's no turpentine, there's nothing like that sort of thing. So that is what the top looks like. So it's somewhat shiny, but by the time we wax it, it'll come up like, you know, Queen Anne furniture. So the Danish oil, as you can see here, it's like plastic now, so it dries pretty hard. And Danish oil, I think, has got turpentine and tung oil in it, and tung oil goes off inside the can really, really fast. So my Cabot's Danish oil, it's only half full and it's already gone off in the can. So I had to use a product called Bry Wax. So this formula for the wax, a friend of mine made it for me, because what's it called, Libron oil or Libron wax and things like that, they're about $60 a bottle now for a small little bottle. It's incredibly expensive, and it's the best I've ever used. But I had my friend make me some wax, some furniture wax. So the recipe for this is 25 grams of beeswax, 1.5 teaspoons of carnauba. Carnauba wax looks like little brown crystals, and it's incredibly crackly and hard, and it gives the wax in here, once it dries, a harder texture. And then 5/8 of a cup of white oil, and I'm told that baby oil is exactly the same thing, is what you need. So 5/8 of a cup. So a cup is metric, and you've got 5/8, which is, you know, imperial. So I don't know what the hell 5/8 of a cup is, but that's the recipe. And you bring it up to temperature and you mix it in and cool it down. And this is perfect for this job here. So I am going to give it a go and see what happens. Right, so the next step for this little mini humidor is I've just had this cedar freshly cut. Smells quite nice. I've got to trim them lengthwise to make them into a press fit into the lid and a press fit into the bottom here, and they will be treated with 50/50 glycol and water, and that will be my moisture retainers, and then I can basically spray them or use a hydro sort of pack later on. Well, today's job for this humidor, I have to get these little strips of cedar here and put them in this cutter that I've got, that I use for framing. It cost me about $300. It's one of these, it's got a razor blade that goes backwards and forwards, and it cuts the angles for you. So all I've got to do now is take about 1/2 millimetre off each end so that they fit in here perfectly, and then I can put glycol and water on the wood and soak it. So here's the box with the cedar done. once I put the water and the glycol on the wood, these gaps will swell and they will jam tight, and that way the wood will stay in the lid. And if they ever fall out, it tells me the humidity is too low. Right, so these cedar slats have been treated with 50-50 glycol and water. Most of the water has evaporated now. It's pretty dry. The glycol will stop the water from evaporating so quickly. So all I need to do now to jam these slats in is basically, put a toothpick in either side of these slats and just push them in, and it'll jam these all together here. And then I close the box up and then pretty much wait till it seasons. And jammed together with little pieces of ice block stick that you can see in there. It keeps them all nice and tight, and now I just have to wait for it to season, and that'll take maybe a couple of days. Close her up, put the latch on and wait.